For weeks we have been talking about the thousands of Australian workers who, because of the work that they do, have not been able to see their families for months.
At any point in time here in the control room we'll have about 200 people operating equipment. People come from a diverse range of backgrounds. We certainly have lots of people who've worked on site and in the mining industry, but we also have lots of other skill sets, paramedics, pilots, nurses, teachers. We train our people here.
A mine worker has been killed at the Mineral Resources Onslow Iron Project in the Pilbara region, WA.
They sell it as the ultimate ticket to the Australian dream. Six-figure salaries, straight out of high school. No experience necessary. Flights, food and accommodation all paid for. Work hard for a few years, they say, and you'll be set for life. A house, a boat, a future for your family. This is the promise of FIFO. Fly in, fly out, Australia's golden ticket. But tonight, we're going to tell you the truth. We're going to tell you about Australia's biggest and most dangerous lie. Because behind the glossy brochures and the six-figure salaries, there is a much darker reality. A reality of broken families, broken minds and broken bodies. A reality where young men are dying at an alarming rate and where the suicide rate is 8 times higher than for the rest of the country. This isn't a job. It's a meat grinder. A machine that chews up young, hopeful Australians and spits them out broken and scarred. And tonight, we're going to expose the companies and the government that are letting it happen. Before we get into the grim details, you know the drill. The mainstream media might run a token story when a worker dies, but they won't tell you about the systemic rot that is killing them. They won't connect the dots. That's what we do. We are the resistance and we are funded by you. So if you want to keep getting the uncensored truth, join us on Patreon. Link in the description. The lie begins with the money. And let's be clear, the money is real. A 20-year-old with no qualifications can walk into a FIFO job and be earning $150,000 a year, sometimes even $200,000. That's life-changing money. It's a deposit on a house in a year. It's a new car, a jet ski, a life that most people can only dream of. For a young person from a working-class family, it's an opportunity that seems too good to pass up. And that's exactly how they want you to think, because that's how they trap you. They call them the golden handcuffs. The money is so good that you can't afford to leave, even when the job is destroying you. And it will destroy you. The rosters are brutal. 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 4 weeks on, 1 week off. They call that one the divorce swing, and for good reason. You're working 12-hour days in the blistering heat in the middle of nowhere. You're living in a tiny room in a camp that feels more like a prison. You're missing birthdays, anniversaries, your kids' first steps, their school plays, their sporting events. You're a visitor in your own life. You're a stranger to your own children. And the isolation is crushing. You're surrounded by people, but you're completely alone. It's a recipe for a mental health disaster. The workers themselves describe it as wishing their lives away. You're counting down the days until your week off, and then when you're finally home, you're so exhausted you can't enjoy it. It's a cycle that never ends. And it's not just a mental health disaster, it's a physical one. The mining industry likes to brag about its safety record, but since 2013, that positive trajectory has completely stalled. In 2023, the number of deaths matched the number from 10 years prior. We're going backwards, and the people who are dying are not the full-time employees. They're the contractors, the disposable workforce. In the last 2 years, 80% of the miners killed in the Eastern Goldfields and Pilbara were contractors. These are young, often inexperienced workers who are thrown into some of the most dangerous jobs on the site with minimal training and oversight. They are the cannon fodder of the mining boom. They are the ones who die when something goes wrong. Let's say their names. Eli Kelly, 21 years old, from Tamworth, New South Wales. He was crushed to death at the St Ives gold mine in April 2024 in a tailings paste plant. He was a FIFO subcontractor. He was someone's son, someone's brother, someone's friend, and he's dead. Kyle Stanley, 32 years old, from Queensland. He was a mechanical fitter. He died on August 21st, 2025 at the Wiluna West iron ore mine while working on a bog truck. He was the first work-related mining death in Western Australia in 2025, and he won't be the last. Kieran McDowell, just 20 years old, killed in June 2023. A contractor. Terry Hogan, killed at the St Ives mine less than 2 years before Eli Kelly. A contractor. Another death at a gold mine near Newman, just days after Terry Hogan. A subcontractor. A 29-year-old drilling contractor killed in December 2024 at a mining exploration site in the Northern Goldfields. These are not statistics. These are human beings. They are sons, brothers, fathers, partners, and they are dead because the system is broken. A system where a company like Goldfields, which runs the St Ives mine, can have 80% of its workforce as contractors. A system where WorkSafe, the government body that is supposed to protect these workers, can be warned about safety issues at a mine 67 days before a man is killed and do nothing. Kyle Stanley's death at Wiluna West is a perfect example. A former supervisor at the site implored WorkSafe to investigate the mine less than 3 months before Kyle died. They did nothing, and now he's dead. This isn't an accident. It's a choice to put profits before people, a choice to treat human beings as disposable, a choice to look the other way when workers are dying. But for every worker who dies in a physical accident, there are countless others who are dying a slow, silent death on the inside. The mental health crisis in the FIFO industry is a national disgrace. A study by the University of Western Australia, published in December 2024, found that FIFO workers are 8 times more likely to attempt suicide than the general population. Let that sink in. 8 times. For drive-in, drive-out workers, it's almost 17 times higher. This is a suicide epidemic, and it is being ignored. The numbers are staggering. In the past 12 months, 2.4% of FIFO workers attempted suicide, compared to just 0.3% of the general population. For Dido workers, it's 5%. That means 1 in every 20 Dido workers attempted to take their own life in the past year. And those are just the attempts. How many succeeded? How many are suffering in silence, too scared to ask for help? Men like Jai Wombat Keane, a proud Noongar man, a West Coast Eagles fan, a grandfather. He worked as a truck driver on mine sites in the Pilbara. He took his own life during his week off. His friend Aroha McCormick, who also worked FIFO, said there was no indication. She'd spoken to him just a few days before. Obviously, there was a lot of pain in his life that he didn't show, she said, but that's the nature of this crisis. It's a silent one. It's a culture of fear, where workers are too scared to speak up about their mental health struggles because they know they'll be seen as weak, a liability. They know they'll be the first to go when the next round of job cuts comes. So they suffer in silence until they can't anymore. Aroha McCormick described the reality of FIFO work. We work in a very dangerous environment, and mentally we have to be 100% to be able to manage the long hours and being away from our family. But how can you be 100% when you're isolated, exhausted, and missing your family? How can you be 100% when you're living in a camp with poor food, no gym access, and no Wi-Fi to even call your loved ones? How can you be 100% when the threat of job cuts hangs over your head like a sword? You can't. And that's the point. The system is designed to break you. And the companies know this is happening. They know their workers are struggling. But what do? They offer token mental health awareness days and box-ticking online courses. They do the bare minimum to cover their own backsides, while the culture of fear and silence they have created continues to claim lives. It's a cynical, calculated act of corporate negligence. This is the great Australian lie. The lie that you can trade your life for a six-figure salary and come out ahead. The lie that you can sacrifice your family, your mental health, and your safety for a bigger house and a fancier car, and that it will all be worth it in the end. It's a lie that is destroying a generation of young Australians, and it's a lie that is being propped up by a greedy, amoral industry and a weak, complicit government. The truth is, the FIFO dream is a nightmare. It's a nightmare for the workers trapped in a cycle of debt and depression. The money doesn't go as far as it used to. Housing is unaffordable. These workers are sacrificing everything for that six-figure salary, and it's still not enough. They're isolated, exhausted, and mentally broken. It's a nightmare for the families who are torn apart by the brutal rosters. The divorce rates among FIFO workers are significantly higher than the general population. Relationships can't survive the constant absence, the emotional distance, the whiplash between life on the job and life at home. Children grow up without their fathers, partners become single parents, families fall apart, and it's a nightmare for the communities that are hollowed out and destroyed by the 100% FIFO model. Towns like Moranbah, where locals can't get jobs because the mining companies only hire FIFO workers. The money leaves the town, the community dies. It's a broken promise to the people who live there, the people who built those communities, the people who deserve a share of the wealth that is being ripped out of their own backyard. It's time to wake up. It's time to demand better. It's time to hold these companies and our government to account. We need to end the casualisation of the workforce that treats human beings as disposable. We need to enforce safe working conditions and proper training for all workers, not just the ones on the company payroll. We need to force companies to hire locally and invest in the communities that host their mines. And we need to create a culture where it's okay to ask for help. And where that help is actually available, the money is not worth it. The house is not worth it. The boat is not worth it. No amount of money is worth a human life. It's time to end Australia's biggest lie. It's time to demand that our workers are treated like human beings, not like disposable cogs in a profit machine. And if the companies won't do it voluntarily, then it's time for the government to force them. Because this is not just a tragedy. It's a crime, and it's happening on our watch. If you want to support the fight for truth and accountability, join us on Patreon. Link in the description. Together, we can expose the lies and demand change. Because these workers deserve better, their families deserve better, and Australia deserves better. To see the latest Australian crisis, click this video here.